At no point did you go, you are such a lazy slob. You didn't do that. You didn't blame them. You went after the behavior. And you talked about how it made you feel. And it talked about, so the kid really understands. So the connections go, okay. You talked about how it interferes in your life specifically. Does this make sense? Easier said than done. I understand.
It's almost too many steps.
It is almost too many steps. But here's the thing. I can do it now like that because I've practiced it. And do I say it like this? No. I have my own way of doing it. I mean, I think in the past hour and a half or a little bit, you kind of get a bit of my attitude and what kind of a person I am. I'm like, guys, look, kitchen, it's a mess. I have to clean this up. I don't have time. I've got other things that I need to do. Your job is to, when you take the dishes off the table, put them in the sink or in the dishwasher, and put the food away. Come on. We've talked about this. And that's kind of my attitude and the way that I deal with things. And so you can personalize it and make it your own. But practice it. Do the steps. Go through the steps. Now, the last thing is ask for an agreement. This was my funnest part about being in the business that I was in. I used to run restaurants. I used to run restaurants for Western Canada at one point. And the funnest thing that I had to do in my business was sit down with the reps who were trying to sell me something, or to sit down with my employees who were trying to get away with something. And I would say, here's what I'm seeing, here's what I need. Will you, using those two words, will you do what we have asked? Yes or no? And if it's no, okay, then we got a problem. And what do you do with that problem? It's in the book. So you're going to have to wait. But normally, if you lay it out like that, the kid goes, yeah, okay, makes sense. So ask for an agreement. Follow up with a statement requesting the agreement using will you. Will you put the food in the fridge and the dishes in the sink? Will you do that? Yes or no? And then you can come back and later and go, we agreed to this. This was an agreement. Even if you have to write it down. And in my family, sometimes we have agreements. We have rules. And the kids agree to them. And the next step is, we're going to be signing contracts in my house. This is something we talked about. Do you agree to it? Yes or no? Sign your name so I can go, look, you agreed to it. You can't get out of it. This is a binding agreement. You and I have an agreement. Now, will that work for you? I don't know. Again, that's my personal style. And it might be a little bit too combative for some people. I like to be a bit combative at times. Summary to this. Talking is more than just opening your mouth. It involves silence. It involves you being quiet. It involves you listening. It involves you being contemplative. Did I say that right? Yeah. Contemplative. When you're giving direction, be direct. Be direct. Be honest and remove the criticism, the contempt, defensiveness, which is, don't you talk to me like that. No. This isn't my fault. This is your fault. Get rid of that. And the stonewalling, which is in essence going, it's your problem. I'm walking. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Stick with the problem. Stick with it. And finally, ask for an agreement. So, let's have a summary to the summary of the summaries. Number one, I have to tell you guys, you're doing a great job. You're sitting here. You have dedicated your time for tonight for 2 hours. And that says a lot about who you are. I have a lot of parents I work with. And usually the parents who are here are not the ones that need to be here. It's usually the ones who go, yeah, you know what, I'm too busy. I got things to do. What do you have to do? Belly button link. I don't know. I got things to do. So you're doing a good job. Please take that to heart, because I really, truly believe it. You're doing a great job. Next is the goal of parenting. Again, like I said, try to raise your kid without messing up too bad. Really. I mean, seriously. My parents, great parents, wonderful parents. They messed me up. My problems come from my parents, 90% of them. And my parents are going to kill me when they hear me saying that. But it's the truth. All we are trying to do is trying to mess them up as little as we can. So get over it. You're not going to have a perfect kid. You're not going to do the absolute best job. There is no one way to be a perfect parent. But there's a million ways to be a great parent. Stop trying to be a perfect parent. You're doing a good job. The real difference will be in how you look at your relationship. That's when you're going to see a change. When you can take those glasses that you're wearing, put them down and go, what is really happening here? He's moody. No. He's an individual. Or she's a smart person. These are her great qualities. And you know that when I put up those questions at the beginning, the second question was, what is the best part about raising a teenager? A lot of times parents go, I don't know. I don't have one. Well, think about it. Because as soon as you choose to write a list of, instead of the things that piss me off about my teenager are, change that. The things that I love about my teenager. And every morning when you wake up, have that list. And look in the mirror. And I have great respect for Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. But I have great respect for him. And I saw him talking about attitude. And he said, I'm going to try to quote him as best I can. I'm going to say this, and I want you to hear the impact of it, but I don't think you're going to get the total impact. The eyes are the window to the soul. When you wake up in the morning, stand in front of that mirror with that list. And I am not kidding you. Go home. Write a list of things that I love about my teenager. Things that I love about Mary, Sue, Leah, Stephen, whomever. Write it out. And then tomorrow morning when you wake up, close your bathroom door so your kids don't think you're nuts, and stand in front of that mirror and look at yourself in the eyes and say, I love Stephen because he is such a caring individual. I love Stephen because he really loves people. I love Stephen because all the way down. And do it every single morning. And I promise you that if you will change your attitude about your teenager, all of a sudden your teenager will change. Actually, they won't change, but it will appear to you as they are. We spend so much time looking for the negative. Look for the positive in your teenagers. They're amazing. They are going to be taking care of you when you're in diapers.